We're live.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Pemberley Farm. This is our second live stream, and we are no less intimidated by it the second time than we were the first time. So anyway, welcome. I know that there are other things going on today. I know the Bio Bash is going on in Louisiana, and I think that they just went live as well. We didn't know they were going to do that. But we already
didn't. It was a different.
Yeah, but
Some
so
of the
anyway,
other people.
yeah, some of the other people. So anyway, don't know if we'll turn it off. Don't know if we'll we'll have in here. We'll just kind of hang out for a minute and see if we get anybody in. But if we do, that'll be a good thing. And if not, we'll just have made a video today. So we're going to talk about several things. We told you in the last video that we'd gone out of town, my husband and I, and left the kids in charge, big kids. But so we're going to talk about that today and what we've been up to otherwise, what food we've been putting up, and some things that we do on as far as to help with canning and stuff like that. So there'll be a lot of things that we talk about today. All right.
We keep getting notifications about people going live.
Yeah, there's
in Louisiana.
Yeah, when we set this up, I didn't think about that. In Louisiana, they're having their big deal this weekend. So anyway, like I said, if we don't get anybody in, we'll continue on as though you're there and make a video. So anyway, we know that we have a number of new subscribers in the last week or so, and so we're really glad for that, and thank you guys for joining us on our journey. We're all in a learning process, no matter how old or how young we are, we're all learning. So, and we should continue to do that. Oh, hey, Kathy, so glad you could join us. Glad you, all the way from Texas. So glad you're here. So anyway, we're just going to hang just for a minute and see if somebody else is in, and then we'll get started with what we wanted to talk about today. But I wonder if anybody is ready for fall or winter. My husband said, my husband said that yesterday evening. He says, I am so ready for winter. I said, at the very least, we're ready for fall. This heat is really, really bad. I guess it's bad for you in Texas too, huh, Kathy? So anyway.
So for the new subscribers and people who might not have watched our introduction videos, she's the mama, Gail, and I'm Ashley.
Yes. Yes, we had some confusion, I think, on some of the comments of our videos, which is fine. They were new and they had not seen us before, and so they didn't know who was who. And
Abby, who you will see in a lot of videos, is in the bed asleep. It's nap time.
Yes, we put her down for a nap. But if Ashley has to get up and run during the middle of this, you'll understand Abby woke up. So we'll have to go. All right. You think we should just go ahead and get started?
Yeah.
All right. We'll just go ahead and get started and see if anybody else comes in. Like I said, we didn't think about what was going on in Louisiana this weekend when we set this up, but we'll go ahead. So again, I want to welcome all the new subscribers, and we've introduced ourselves. I'm Gail and that's Ashley. And the person with the wrench, that's Kelly. That's my son, Ashley's brother, her oldest brother. And so he'll be watching out for any trolls or anything. We've not been around long enough for the trolls to find us, I don't think. But just in case, he's there with a wrench in case we have some.
I have my phone signed into personal YouTube as well.
Yeah.
And so, but it says Ashley Mount, and I'm not a Mount anymore, or not legally,
Yeah. She just hadn't changed it to her married name. But anyway, so what have we been up to? Well, it's summertime. Oh, boy, is it summertime. And we have been canning. We have canned tomatoes. Yesterday and today, we've been canning okra. This is okra that we canned yesterday. Can you see that? And I will tell you that this is a new thing for me. I have never canned okra before. But I wanted to try it for over a year because Wanda from Deep South Homestead had put up a video about it that she had learned about this from Old Alabama Gardener, which is another YouTube her person. So anyway, I decided this year to try it, and so I'm going to do one more round of it this afternoon, and I'll have 16 pints put up. And so I don't know if we'll put it up any more than that, but no, it's not pickled. And oh, Hannah's asleep too. But no, it's not pickled, not exactly, but it does have salt and vinegar in it, but only a very little amount, enough to keep it preserved. But when you cook it and fry it like you would okra that was fresh, you don't taste the vinegar. And so very interesting. So if you want to, I've not done a video on it because it was not my thing. As a matter of fact, I watched Wanda's video. The one that I watched to get the recipe off of is Crazy Days, CrazyDays, Crazy Days. And
that's their channel.
That's her channel that she does a lot of her recipes and stuff on. So anyway, if you want to go and look at that, and that's what I used. So we're going to try it and see how we like it. And hey, that takes up less freezer space. And okra, to me, just doesn't last very long in the freezer. It gets freezer burn and nasty. And so if we can do it like this and it lasts, a year or so at least, then that's a good thing. Because we like okra. So anyway, we
do like it pickled.
Yes,
we've got plenty of pickled okra, I think.
Yes, we love pickled okra.
I need a whole pint by myself.
Yes, you have to just kind of walk away, So we love it. But anyway, so we've been canning tomatoes. This coming week, we're going to be canning spaghetti sauce, and we will probably do a video on that. Tomatoes, that's an easy thing. You just can tomatoes. But for the spaghetti sauce, we'll probably do a video on that. And also, we have the last couple of days picked peas from our garden, and so we've been freezing them. I don't generally can peas. I don't like them as well canned. Now, if it came down to it and I had no freezer, I'd can all the peas. But at this point, we are still freezing the peas. So,
hi, Northern Ohio Homestead. It just dawned on me. Hey, we got 6 people watching. That's awesome. And yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you for coming in. So, yep. So tomatoes, okra, and the peas. And I wanted to give y'all a little idea of something that I've been doing for a number of years. There's certain recipes that you use over and over again. And hello, Hidden Acres from across the street. Not so hidden from us, huh? But something I've done for years and years as far as the recipes for canning that I use over and over again, like my salsa recipe, my spaghetti sauce recipe, something that's kind of like a V8 juice, and my zucchini relish, which we're going to make a video on that, and probably next week too. So there's a number of things that I use the recipes over and over again, other than just an ingredient. Like tomatoes is an ingredient, beans is an ingredient. I ingredient can, but I also put things together to make a specific thing. So anyway, wanted to show you this. I chose this because it has a quilt on it, and I like quilting, and I quilt. So anyway, and it's pink or fuchsia, so what's not to love? So
Kathy said, what about a video on drying basil? I had commented. And then Northern Ohio Homestead asked if we'd ever make tomato jam.
I have not made tomato jam. I always have so much other fruit. Well, I realize tomatoes fruit too, but that we never get to that with all the other fruit that we have. We never try the tomato jam. Have you done it, and did you like it? So and let us know about that. Yeah, our basil plants. As a matter of fact, it's on my to-do list today to cut the basil again and make some more pesto, because what we made last time is long since gone, and the basil plants, you can't even tell we ever touched them.
And Mom bought a bunch of tortellini from Sam's, which is some of my favorite pasta.
Yes. So some tortellini with sausage and cheese in it. So we need some basil, some pesto to go on top of that. But anyway, this is just a simple. Let me go back here. where there is nothing. This is just a simple photo album. I don't know if you can see, there's one to go up here and one to go down here. Just a simple photo album. Well, what I did is I got the larger recipe cards, and I wrote the canning recipes that I use regularly and often on these recipe cards, and I put them in this book. It's perfect. It fits 4x6 pictures, and so these larger the larger recipe cards fit absolutely perfectly in it, and it is it's, you have it at hand. You have it on hand all the time. And I wrote on the spine of it, canning, so that there's no doubt when it's sitting on the bookshelf amongst the hundreds, thousands, how many ever books that are on the bookshelf, that I know immediately, actually, it's sitting next to the Ball Blue book and my pressure canner book. So I know that it's there. But anyway, I wrote canning on there. And then I just write them out and put them in this. And sometimes if there's a note on the back, I put on the bottom that there's a note on the back. This is one that somebody sent me years and years ago, and instead of rewriting it, I just put her card in there. So anyway, I've got it separated according to different types of things. But to me, it's a good idea, and it keeps all your canning recipes that are not that's not ingredients like tomatoes or beans, all in one place. So you don't have to go, oh, now where was that? What book was that in? Go through a recipe book or anything like that. All your canning recipes are right here. And it's an easy thing to do. And I've used this system now for quite a number of years. And I really like it. As a matter of fact, as I was watching Wanda's Crazy Days video about canning the okra, wrote it out on a piece of paper. And probably tonight, when everything calms down, I'll write it on one of these big cards and add it to this book. So, that's just an idea for you to help you keep all your stuff together for canning. And so you can just lay your hands on it immediately. I'm not organized at everything, but for that, I thought that was just the best way to do it. And these little books are like $1 or so. I think I paid like 50 cents or $1 for this. And so you can get them for just almost nothing. So anyway.
Northern Ohio Homestead has not made tomato jam, but would love to.
Yes. That's an idea. I'll have to look up a recipe for that and give that a shot.
She's made jalapeno jelly.
Yes, I have made jalapeno jelly. My husband thinks that now he loves jalapenos, but he doesn't want jalapeno jelly. Now I make something that I thought I had invented, but I think it may be the same thing as cowboy candy. I don't know. Years ago, I had a lot of jalapenos, and I had been making bread and butter pickles, and I thought, what if I made bread and butter jalapenos? And so that's what I did. And everybody loves it, but I think that's the same thing that people call cowboy candy. I don't know. I've never looked at the cowboy candy recipe, but from some things I've seen people say that's maybe the same thing. I don't know.
Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly loves it. Yeah. A lot of people really love that because it's sweet but hot, but not too bad, So anyway, but I like the jalapeno jelly. It is not hot. It just has the taste of the jalapenos. So anyway, all right, let's see what else. So in all of this, we've been picking our own stuff that we're growing in our garden, but we've also, because I don't know why, but I cannot grow enough tomatoes for us to can and do. We can eat fresh, but I cannot grow enough tomatoes for us to can. Maybe I've got too many other irons in the fire, too many other things I'm trying to grow and do.
We'd have to grow a lot.
We'd have to grow an awful lot of tomatoes for us. We use a lot of tomatoes because, in chilies and spaghetti sauce and
any Italian meal.
And we cook, especially in the wintertime, I fix minestrone a lot. And there's just a number of other things. We eat a lot of taco chowder in the wintertime too. Uses a lot of tomatoes. So, yes, Roma are the best, but sometimes I can't find Romas. the reason Roma is the best is because they are not so juicy. They're more for like a paste tomato or a thicker sauce. And I like that, but when I can't find what I need, I get whatever I can. So anyway, so we went to a place this week called Applin Farms, and
just a couple days ago.
Yeah, just a couple of days ago, and it's up in Malvern, Alabama, which is, for those of you in Ohio and elsewhere, is lower Alabama,
right near the Florida border.
Right near the Florida border, and we are in Florida, in Northwest Florida, near the Alabama border. So it takes about 40 minutes or so, maybe 45, only because you have to go so slow on some of the back farm road to get there to Applin Farms. And we got some tomatoes and got some okra, more okra than what I grow, and peaches. Yes, I don't have any peach trees. That this year, peach trees we're going to plant some peach trees. We've got other fruit, a lot of other fruit, but not peach.
I know like Danny and Wanda Deep South Homestead, they put up pictures during their live stream sometime and show y'all stuff. I wish I knew how to do that. At this point we don't. I will investigate that, because I would love to show you the pictures of Abby at Apple Farms. One of the older gentlemen, I guess, that works there, part of the family, he gave Abby a peach and she loved it.
Yes, very much. So anyway, so that's what we've been doing, and then working feverishly ever since to
put it all away.
put it all away. The tomatoes aren't quite ready to do anything with yet. That's why we said probably next week. Now, talking about tomatoes, if you didn't see our original tomato video about trying a new something new, you should go back and watch it. And then the second video, which is just 2 or 3 minutes long, of how that experiment turned out. So we'll tell you that it did turn out good, and we'll probably do our tomatoes like that from now on. We put them in a big bag, 2-gallon Ziploc bag, freezer bag, and put them in the freezer after they were washed and cored, and scored an X in the blossom end of the tomato. Let them freeze, and then when we were ready to process them, we took them out and let them thaw. Now, I will tell you, it takes a long time to thaw, all day long, and they were still, not 100%. And so what we finally did to speed the process up, instead of leaving them in the bags, I got a bunch of old cookie sheets, and we put them out on the cookie sheets so they weren't touching each other. But if I'd have known it was going to take that long for them to thaw, I would have taken them out the day before and put them in a cooler or in the refrigerator or something to give a chance to thaw. But anyway, it worked really well, and the skin just peels right off. Like I said, we cored them and scored the blossom end with an X, and when they were thawing, the skin just slipped right off. And yes, they do. They do get more watery. But what I did was I let them sit long enough, and I poured an awful lot of that water off. But to me, I can't tell that they got so much more watery than when I put them in a boiling water, and then put them in ice water, and then put them over in a big one of my giant Tupperware bowls for them to cool off, for me to be able to core them and skin them and do all of that. So I'm not so sure that it created any more water that way. But yes, it did create a lot of water.
Hi, Off Kilter Homestead.
Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us. So anyway, but I just poured it off. As it would collect, I just would pour it off as it was sitting there. Because these were real juicy tomatoes. I'll tell you that I got them from those tomatoes from someplace besides Applin, and they were sorry tomatoes. They really were sorry. You have to deal with what you got, So Applin's tomatoes that we got yesterday look much, much better, and I'm looking forward to doing something with them. Those will probably be the ones that we make the spaghetti sauce out of, and we'll just, deal with the other ones that we had. So anyway, but yes, they make water. You just have to pour it off. And So yeah, and make sure they're dry when you put them in the bag. It'll create less water and less ice that way. So anyway, and also the other thing we've been doing is trying to not die from the heat. It has been so hot. It has been so hot. And my husband's sitting behind the camera dying. He's off this week and he's been out working. And so he's just really, he's come in to try to survive in the middle of the day.
He's been getting the spot for my house cleaned up.
Yes.
Those of you who don't know, now that I've told my landlady, I can broadcast it a little more. I'm married, have a baby. We live about 20 minutes from the farm, my husband and I. And we live about 20 minutes from the farm, and we're finally coming home. John and I have bought a double wide trailer, and it is getting. Kathy Brennan said, "Hi, Big Kelly." Anyway, we've bought a double wide, and we're getting it moved to the newer part of the farm, and should be here sometime this month. So I'm excited. We gotta get the septic done and a light pole, but anyway, power pole, yeah.
So, and for those of you that don't know and that are new, we started out on almost 15 acres, and in September of last year, we asked, well, actually in August of last year, we asked the person that owns the 20 acres across the street, all but an acre and a half that was on our side, the road split it. And we asked him would he be interested in selling that acre and a half, and he said sure, and for various reasons he couldn't swing that. And so he offered us the whole 20 acres. And so my husband and I were like, well, we never thought about that. So it's an old family place, and we knew the older gentleman. He was in his 90s when he passed away, and we loved him. He was a precious man. And so his grandson is who owned it. And so he said, why don't you buy the whole place? So we did. Shocked to us too, but we did. And so our oldest son and his family that he's on here now, he's the one with the wrench, and they live in one of the houses that was already on the land. And then our daughter and her husband are going to move on. There's a big pond on it, about an acre and a half or so pond on it, and they're going to live on the back side of the pond.
We had to tear one of the houses down to be able to put our trailer where that house was.
Yeah.
But we're so excited. We can't wait to be here full time, not have to rent anymore. And
yes,
all I have to do is walk across the road to come to work, or not even walk across the road. Depends on where I'm working, what part of the farm I'm working at the moment.
Yes. So, and that's the other thing. So that brings us to this past weekend, not this 4th of July weekend, but last weekend, the 29th, 30th.
Something like that.
My husband, like I said, he's off. He took some time off. Yes.
Oh, we're in North Florida.
We're in Northwest Florida. I don't know if you know where Chipley is, but we're near Chipley. It's about the center of the Panhandle.
Lower Alabama, yeah. Central Florida. I don't know what part of Central Florida, but my husband is from the Newport Richey area, close to Tampa. That Central Florida. I say South Florida, but I forget there's stuff further south. But
someone's at Ashley's home site. You need to go over there.
Uh-oh.
We don't know who that is, so he'll go see about that. But that's a good thing about having somebody live over there as well. So go ahead.
Anyway, no, I was just talking Kilter Homestead. They're in Central Florida. Oh, cool. I've only been up near Destin. Okay, so we're closer to Tallahassee from Destin, further east from Destin, and our south. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
They're our south of Orlando. Yeah. Well, a lot of my family, my mother's mother, a lot of her family lived in Winter Haven. So we've been down there many times.
It's the health department.
Okay. Well, he's gone now. I'm sure it's for her septic tank. So anyway, we're waiting for the permit for that. So anyway, all right. So about where we went
Oh yeah.
this weekend. Well, because we're running long.
Most people go an hour.
Well, we're not going an hour. But I can't do that for an hour. This is nerve wracking, guys. But anyway, I'm trying to read too. We'll be back home the last of the week of the month. Oh well, that's good. That's good. So we went on a little trip because we are going to buy a tractor. Now we've got an ancient tractor, and an old Massey Ferguson that has a lot of problems. But we need a newer tractor, and one that we can do more with. One that has hydraulics on the front for a scoop and all that kind of stuff. So I may say the wrong word, but whatever it is that goes on the front. And so
bucket.
Bucket. That's the word. And so
sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
And so anyway, we need that, and several other things. We want a tiller that's big, because adding that 20 acres added a whole lot of farmland where we are, where we've been now for 15 years.
The original 15 acres.
The original 15 acres is mostly wooded, and so the area that we garden in and have our fruit trees and things like that is we can handle that with a walk behind tiller and stuff like that. But the land over across the dirt road, it's much more open. There's more open land than there is woods, and so there's a lot. Even though part of it's pasture for the horses, and we'll be getting cows pretty soon. Ashley's happy about that. We just have to have bigger equipment. We can't handle it with a walk behind tiller that's like that wide. So anyway, maybe a little wider than that, but it's not very big when you're looking at a fair size something that you're trying to plant. So anyway, that's what we're looking for. And so my husband has looked at all manner of tractors, and he's investigated and done about all manner of tractors.
Kubota, Mahindra.
Yeah, and he had come down to that he thought it was between a Kubota and a Mahindra, and so he just, the Mahindra is a couple of $1,000s cheaper than a Kubota, but Kubota seems to have a better reputation and last longer and be a sturdier piece of equipment. And so, you're just trying to weigh all of that, and we just didn't know what to do. So we thought that we would go talk to an expert about tractors, because I know that, I don't know if he still has it, but he did have an old tractor that he used, a little smaller one than the one we have, our old one. But now he's got a new tractor. And it's a Kubota. And so we decided that we would go and talk to the expert about the tractor. And I say that, kind of in jest, but not. So, but we went to Mississippi, to Wiggins, Mississippi, to Deep South Homestead to visit with Danny and Wanda. And I'm telling you, now we've met them before. We've gone to the gatherings before. As a matter of fact, we did an open fire cooking demonstration in March, at the last gathering they had in March.
We have videos on that.
Yes, and there's a video in our playlist on that. Yeah, a couple of videos on it. So you go back and watch them. But so we went to talk to Danny about, because he said he would never buy a Mahindra.
Very good person.
Yes, good person. Yes. And so we knew that he said he would not buy a Mahindra, but I couldn't remember why he said he wouldn't. So we just kind of used it to get a weekend away, which we needed. My husband, just the two of us. And we were there an extra day, because if you're ever in that area of Mississippi, you need to go to Fulmer's General Store in Farmstead, FULMER''S. Oh my goodness, you would love the place. So look it up on Facebook and see Fulmer's. So it's a great place. So what were you going to say?
I was jealous. John, my husband, and I, we stayed here in Mom and Dad's house while they were gone. And my brother and, they live across the street. So we all kind of held down the fort and everything. I was really jealous, though, because I really wanted to go.
Yes. We love Fulmer's, and we love Danny and Wanda. And so anyway, we went to Fulmer's on Friday, and then Saturday morning we went to Danny and Wanda's, and
planning to only stay an hour.
We were only going to stay a couple of hours, and I'm telling y'all, have you ever just got to talking to somebody and you just have so much in common? I mean, we watched their YouTube videos for years, but 2 or 3, however long they've been on, I think we started watching them not too long after they started. So we've watched their YouTube videos a long, long time. But anyway, we went there. We talked and talked and talked and talked, and they gave us a tour of everything, and they gave us a tour of the candy corn cottage, and it's amazing. It really is amazing. And it was just great. And, we had so much in common. We are like-minded, I believe, just about on every subject. Any subject we talked about, we didn't disagree on it at all. And it's just kind of neat to have somebody to talk to like that you're like-minded with, and you have a lot in common. And so we stayed there quite a few hours, and we enjoyed it very much. Ate lunch with them, and so I was really thrilled. They were so hospitable, and it was just really good. We all had a really good time, just really good time. So I just wanted to thank them. And if any of our subscribers that does not follow Danny and Wanda, you should go to Deep South Homestead on YouTube. And like I said, Wanda's YouTube page, where she has a lot of recipes, is Crazy Days, DAZES. So anyway, but that's where we went, and it was great. It was great. My husband is a very kind of shy person and kind of quiet, and if he doesn't know you, he's not real. It is not. He's kind of standoffish if he doesn't know you well. But when we left there, he said that with great emotion. He said that was excellent. He said, I enjoyed that very much. That was so enjoyable. And so so I was glad, because I think we all enjoyed it. It was good. Like I said, it was just the 4 of us, and we just talked about about homesteading things, about tractors, of course, because that's why we went. We talked about the Bible. We talked about the Lord. We talked about all manner of things like that. And so we talked about the condition of the world, which is, sometimes you wonder. And so we talked about all that kind of stuff. And it was really, really good. And we really enjoyed it. And again, we thank them for their hospitality. So, Kelly says that Fulmer's is such an awesome place, and they make homemade bread, and I brought him home a loaf of homemade jalapeno bread, and he loves it. So I have to always get his daddy a loaf, and we make bread, but I never have made jalapeno bread. So I'll have to try that. And while you're here, before you leave, don't forget to give a thumbs up as you leave, or even now. Like I said, I know that there are a lot of people over in Louisiana, and they're doing they're busy over there getting things ready for their, I can't remember what he called it.
Bayou Bash Farmstead? No, Steadfest. Bayou Bash Steadfest is happening in Lake Charles, Louisiana tomorrow. But they're setting up today, and there's a bunch of people have gone live and doing all kinds of stuff. So I know there's a lot of YouTube homesteaders because there right now, and
some that have come in with us before when we did our other lives. So including Broussard. Broussard came in last time when we were live. So anyway, are there any questions from anybody? Anybody have any questions? I guess I could put my glasses on and not have to squint at the screen.
I'm watching. I've been letting you talk, and I've been watching the chat.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about anything?
While y'all are thinking about questions, recap. I know some of y'all come in a little later. We've been canning like crazy. Okra, tomatoes. We are going to be canning spaghetti sauce next week. We ran up to a local farm in near Dothan, Alabama, Malvern, Alabama, called Applin Farms, and got some peaches and tomatoes and okra, and a cantaloupe. And like I said earlier, I wish y'all could have seen Abby. She was so cute. And her granddaddy picked up a big watermelon and held it, and she put her arms under it. We got a big a picture with a picture of her with a big smile on her face. I get tongue tied. Anyway, and then Mom and Dad went to Deep South this past weekend.
And don't forget the recipe book using a photo album for your canning recipes, all in one spot. I don't know if off kilter was in here when we were talking about that or not. I can't remember, but it's really yes, you can freeze your pesto. Yes, you can. When you watch our video, those little cups are freezer cups they're made by Ball, and they're freezer cups.
And ours have a purple lid. I think they now just make them with a lime green lid.
Yeah, they're lime green now.
And mine they make them in different sizes.
Yes, mine are older, and it's just enough for making of pesto. And so, yes, you can freeze them. I've done that for a number of years. And but if you whatever you have to freeze it in, but that's just what I use because it fits a making of pesto. Say if you do four cups of basil, and so anyway, yes, you can do that. Any other questions? And he just came back in from across the street, and Ashley's dying to ask him a question. I know. Yeah. So anyway, okay. Well, if there's no questions, we've been on for almost 37 minutes. So that's a long time when you're trying to figure out something to say. So
I know a lot of people go for at least an hour.
Yeah. So what did we do? Yeah, we've got. That's all that
I have recapped everything.
Now just be on the lookout. We're like I say, we're going in the next couple of weeks. We're going to have several canning videos up, and we will have a video about making an herb bed.
We've been working on it for weeks and just haven't been able to finish it.
There's the issues with the herb bed, and we'll tell you about it when we make the video. We won't go into it here today. But anyway, so about herbs and the herb bed and what we have planned for the there's an old farmhouse across the street that's part of that 20 acres that's not livable, but right now we use it for storage, and we do kind of have some plans for it, but it's not ever going to be used as a house again. Yes.
Canning is not that hard.
It's really not, and once you get the hang of it and you're not afraid of it, then it just goes quickly, and it's not bad at all. So anyway, and the and pressure canning is not bad. And I'll tell you, I want to go over a good food processor. What's a good food processor that will make strong enough to make peanut butter? Well, I don't know. I've had that old Cuisinart that I made the peanut butter in on the video for,
and that's the top brand.
Yeah, but I've had that. It's probably close to 30 years old. That old food processor, but the and if you have if you have a Champion juicer or something like that, they also make peanut butter.
I have a Fiberware or Faberware, whatever Walmart brand, basically food processor at my house, and I haven't tried to make.
I would just say look at the power of the motor. That's going to be the thing. It'll bog it down. Not so much when the peanuts are hard, but when it's got them into almost like a powder, and then it starts to make it into the butter part, and then it gets real thick until it's not real thick. Go watch the video so you can see what I'm talking about. People stop too soon and end up with dry peanut butter, and that's nasty. Dry peanut butter is nasty. Yes, Kathy says she has a Hamilton Beach that works great. I would imagine that it would. Like I say, now one of the $5, little special Christmas special $5 thingies. I'm not so sure that would, but have a big Cuisinart.
I make sun butter and almond butter.
Yes.
Fudge. Ooh, fudge.
Oh, you need to share that.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to share that. But yeah, to me, It's a great thing to have. Yeah. My husband's wanting me to tell you, talking about canning, that, 100 years ago, I say that's because we're old. And so I say when I did something, it was 100 years ago because I'm old. But we lived back in the 70s. We lived in the mountains of North Carolina.
They are old.
Shut up. We lived in the mountains of North Carolina, and I mean in the backwoods of the mountains of North Carolina. Little Kelly, who is Kelly on this thing with the wrench, and he was little then anyway. He is uh, he is, he was probably 7 or 8 years old, and we moved from Florida to the mountains of North Carolina, and the people up there didn't use pressure canners. The old mountain folk did not use pressure canners, and that's who we were friends with, was the mountain people. We were not really too much friends with anybody that came from outside. But the mountain folk was who we were friends with, and our boys, both of them were young at that time, and it was they were like the grandparents to our boys because their grandparents were here. So anyway, you made me forget what I was talking about now. Yes. So anyway, he's over here making faces behind the camera. We will not let him do this anymore. So anyway, we canned like 30 something quarts of green beans in a wash tub over an open fire at a time. 30 something at a time in a wash tub over an open fire.
But that took a long time.
3 hours. Now, I am not saying do that, okay? I don't do that anymore. I do it in a pressure canner. But that's the way they had done it for years and years, forever. And so when we had a lot of green beans, and I was thinking about how, they said, do it this way. So we did. And we didn't die. So, because we had a lot of green beans that year. I mean, our green beans were very prolific. So anyway, there's a lot of ways you can do things if you just absolutely have to. That is not something I promote because it is, can be very not safe. But we did do it at that time, and it was fun and it was interesting, and we wanted to learn as much as we could about the old ways from those people. And they're all gone now. It's sad. We loved them very much, still do, but they're all gone now, and so that's a sad thing because that little 7 or 8 year old boy is now in his mid-40s. So that was a long time ago. But
I'm always jealous that they lived there before I was born.
yes. All right. So anybody else have any questions?
We're down to 5 people.
Okay. So I think we're done. Yes. Thank you guys for joining us. And I don't know when we'll do another live stream, but do like and subscribe. If you're on here, you subscribed, I guess, and share. And thank you so much for watching. And you have a blessed day. And thank you. Yeah. You guys, all of you have a good day, a blessed day.
Check us out on Facebook. We're Pemberley Farm on Facebook. I put a lot of pictures up. We also have a group through that Facebook page. It's called Pemberley Farm and Friends. Join the group.
Yes.
There's a lot more pictures on that.
Yeah, and on the regular page, you can only comment. You can't make a post. But on the friends, you can.
That's what Miss Wanda did. She posted. I didn't realize you could actually post on the regular page.
Well, anyway, on the friends page, for sure you can.
But yeah, on the group, there's a lot more interaction there.
Yeah.
The Pemberley Farm by itself page is mostly just us posting and commenting. There's stuff people comment.
Yeah.
And we have Facebook, Pemberley Farm. The group is Pemberley Farm and Friends. Instagram, we are Pemberley Farms 92 is our Instagram handle. So y'all check us out.
All right. Thanks for joining us.